أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. My name is Imaduddin, and I wanted to share just words of reminder of the struggle that we're all going through with life and searching for peace and the purpose of life in itself. And for those who are listening, thank you for taking the time. And anything right that I say is from Allah Azza wa Jal and His Messenger Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. But anything wrong that I say is back to my own soul and shaitan. May Allah forgive me for that. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. All praise is due to Allah, the source of perfection, absolute peace and security. May He guide us to Him and Him alone, for He is the ultimate treasure, gift, present that we can ever discover. To Him belongs the most beautiful names. From an origin of perfection in a setting of purity, we were sent to this world full of insecurities, where everything we desire slips between our fingertips. And even if every desire were to be fulfilled, it would seem as if we took a sip of water. For when this desire is met, then the heart looks to that which is not met, until it travels in this path further and further and further, lost deep in the forest, chained by the neck to our desires while being pulled by the devil. These deceived hearts continue to search for peace, but will never ever settle. So he or she wonders, why is this car not making me happy? This house, this job, all of these things that I've bought seem to not produce a single lasting peaceful thought. So he and she continues to wonder, maybe peace, maybe, just maybe peace is in the non-material relationships. And even then, they continue to be unhappy, fatigued, angry, confused, and full of conflicts in their relationships. When you are intoxicated with your desires, your heart becomes stained with the sins caused by the obedience to your desires. The master behind this is the accursed one, Shaitan, the devil, who uses our desires as a tool to lead us in disobeying He who created us. When you fall for this trap, your heart becomes disconnected from Allah, the source of light, bringing our heart to a state of darkness. So like a thief, the devil and our desires completely hijack our hearts and operate in darkness till the will of the heart becomes one who's completely submitted to the devil and his desires. And a result, all that the heart sees, hears, feels, and knows becomes the desire of this physical world alone. Sadly, the stains of the sins makes these lenses of the heart blind to the spiritual reality and deaf to the call of its creator. In consequence, the heart becomes enslaved to the desires of this physical world through a cycle of delusional love and fear that are rooted in the things that will end, which then opens the door of the heart to a life of confusion, worry, lack of satisfaction, lack of peace, lack of gratitude, lack of resiliency, emptiness, addiction to chasing joy, and all sorts of psychological disorders. So we wander blindly in this world, searching for peace but not knowing what it is. The important thing is to ask, what is it? What is peace? What is it that brings peace? And who is it that gives peace? It is He, Allah, As-Salam, the source of perfection and peace. He, Allah, is in charge of our hearts, and it is He who gives tranquility to our hearts by giving us the mercy and remembering Him. For Allah Ar-Rahman reminds us in the Quran, those who believed and whose hearts find rest in the remembrance of Allah, verily in the remembrance of Allah do the hearts find rest. The heart can never be content. The heart can never be content. The heart can never be content as long as it desires that which is created. For that which is created will fade. And as long as your heart is still willing to cherish that which will fade, your contentment, peace, and happiness will always perish. But when you submit to Allah, the one who inherits all there is, including our hearts, the veil becomes lifted from the eyes of the heart, and only then, by the mercy of Ar-Rahman, Allah, your heart becomes fit to see and feel peace given by Allah, the ever-living, the source of perfection and absolute peace. May Allah grant us to know Him and submit our hearts cheerfully and willingly to Him alone. Peace and blessings be upon the most beautiful and peaceful heart to ever walk this earth, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wasallam. Alhamdulillah, and thank you and Jazakallah to all of you. Assalamu alaikum.